Greetings, lovers of history. Well, I came across a book that was a genuinely unexpected delight. Inadmissible evidence about Evelyn Williams, the story of an African-American trial lawyer who defended the Black Liberation Army. I sort of thought it was going to be another one of those books like Elaine Brown's A Taste of Power or Outlaw Woman, which were really much ado about nothing. So Elaine Brown's A Taste of Power was about her brief stint as the head of the Black Panthers when Huey Newton was incarcerated. And Outlaw Woman was about a woman who was sort of involved in some radical activities in the 60s and 70s, but you know, she never, it was strange how little she did and how much she wrote about this, and she wound up getting her PhD out of it, so more power to her, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, this book I thought was going to be sort of like that. It was definitely not. She was an attorney, a direct relative of Joanne Chesimard, also known as Assata Shakur. She also was, before she was an attorney, she was one of the social workers who handled the placement of the children of Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, whom were executed. And there was a great little tidbit of information about how the boys became mirror poles as opposed to green glasses or any of the other people that were involved with them. So there's a couple of books I want to mention about the Rosenbergs. The brother was very telling as well. But not only was she involved with that, she also was involved obviously with her, I think it was a cousin actually. They were relatives that were close enough that there was some family property that she was the attorney for, and it did not end well. And she wound up being very disenchanted with the legal system. And of course, there is sort of the intimation that she was at least more knowledgeable about Assata Shakur's escape plans. Now, I read Assata, along the autobiography of Assata Shakur, and I don't remember if it went into too much detail about the actual escape, which is something that I'm interested in. There were people charged, including one woman who apparently successfully robbed a bank for $1.6 million and has never been. You know, Midnight Run was not a great book. That was more a prison memoir with the escape being just at the end. There are some others. I read George Jackson's Prison Writings, which was a real downer. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's the letters that he wrote while he was in prison. So you can imagine there was a lot of monotony with that. I also just finished The Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela, which spent a lot more time than I really wanted to about his time in incarceration. I mean, obviously was a big part of his life. It was 30 years, but it's not the most engaging of reads. Now, the beginning and the end were very engaging, but also I have to say on that one before I move on that I was really surprised because I sort of didn't know much about Mandela, and I sort of put him in the same stock with Martin Luther King and Gandhi as far as his place in history and how he handled himself, and that was not the case at all. I don't think Mandela will be ever put on the same sort of pedestal that the unquestioned and you cannot criticize pedestal as Gandhi or MLK. She was also somewhat involved with Kathy Boudin, who was involved with the death of Officer Waverly Brown in Nyack, New York. And she did successfully escape and make it to Cuba, where she was given asylee status and, to my knowledge, is there today. Anyway, it was a great book. If anybody's trying to find it, it's easily available in PDF format online. Let me know what you think. Does anybody know any other good books about people who successfully escaped?